Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. Riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood.
In 1175, near the end of the Holy Crusades, while King Richard of the Lion's Heart was still embattled outside the walls of Jerusalem, brave knights, returning from the war, found their homeland in turmoil, their estates forfeited, their lands and titles usurped by the black hand of Richard's own brother, Prince John, aided by his evil Norman henchmen. One such bold-hearted knight, loyal to the king, was Robin, Earl of Locksley. And this begins his story.
It's Master Robin. It's Master Robin. Tom, it's Master Robin. Oh.
Martha, it's good to see you.
Master Robin.
Tom.
You came back. Heaven be praised. Bless us all.
You'd best lie back in your bed, Tom, or you'll shout yourself into the grave. I'll get you some hot broth.
They've stolen your home. You must kill Roger de Lisle. Death to all Normans.
I know Tom sounds daft to you, but he's not to be blamed.
Why should I blame him? He's loyal and faithful, and I can see he's suffered for it.
Night and day we've lived in fear of our lives.
I heard rumors of these evil things, Martha. That's why I came back. I can see I stayed away too long.
Everything's changed since you went, Master Robin. Sometimes I think when Tom raves about blood and death to the Normans, he's the only sane one of us left.
It's time I made myself known to these guests of mine.
What? The stupid fellow came at me with his bare hands. So I pinned him to the wall. Hubert, what do you want?
A gentleman wishes to see you, my lord.
How dare you interrupt us? Let him wait.
But he refuses, sir. He says his business is most urgent.
Urgent? Who is this impudent fellow?
He gives his name as Robin of Locksley.
Robin of Locksley? It's impossible. He's dead. Everybody knows that. I have a paper to prove it.
And I'm here to disprove the paper, my lord. It's true I was wounded in the service of the king, but I'm very much alive, as you can see.
You're alive, yes. But you're not Robin of Locksley.
Under ordinary circumstances, I take it ill to have my word doubted. But you are, in a sense, guests in my house, whether invited or not. All I ask is that you leave my home as soon as possible. If you do so peacefully, we can forget what's happened.
Most generous of you. All he wants is that we should give up our home and our land and turn them over to him.
My home and my land.
So you tell us. But I say Robin of Locksley is dead, and you're an imposter.
We can easily test whether I'm an imposter or not. Call in the people from the estate and ask them who I am.
The testimony of a Saxon serf means nothing.
I have another witness, a Norman witness of high standing. But I prefer to bring him to the attention of the Sheriff of Nottingham if you force me to take my cause there.
What purpose could that serve? The sheriff himself commissioned me to take over this house and land and to maintain peace and order.
Since my return, I've seen little peace and less order.
I've no wish to argue these matters with you. Your claim is preposterous. Robin of Locksley is dead. He was killed in the Holy Land. His father died, leaving no other heir.
No other heir but me. Look at his picture and you'll see a resemblance. But I see you close your eyes as well as your ears to justice.
I meant to have that piece of rubbish thrown out long ago. Hubert? Take this picture out and burn it.
Sir Roger, Lady de Lisle, forgive me for interrupting your dinner. Perhaps I made a mistake in coming here. The mistake I made was to waste my breath on a scoundrel who shall answer to me either in court or by the sword.
Stop him! Don't let him get away! God! Call the guard! After him! William, come back! William, come back! This way!
Open this door, Matrion! Open the door! What a cowardly pair of heels they show. Helicopter, lads. Hold him. Bring it over here. Bring it over here. No, please. Please, I'm begging God, save us.
Good morning, Hugh.
Who are you?
A traveler? The soldier of the king, returned from the war in the Holy Land. You caught this fellow stealing a deer?
Yes. We're just carrying out the punishment. We're royal foresters.
What is the punishment?
Very unpleasant one, I assure you. In this case, it's eyes, fingers, and the forest.
You're going to do that to him just for killing a deer?
Well, I don't like it any more than you do. You better go talk to Prince John, or whoever settles these matters for him. Right.
Touch him with that, you get an arrow through your throat.
You're a bold fellow, aren't you? Think you can kill all three of us?
If I have to. Now untie him, and then leave.
Our duty doesn't include getting ourselves killed. You can have him. For now.
We'd better get away from here before they get their courage back. What are you going to do now? You can't go near your home, that's certain.
My children are starving. I'd like to get some meat to them.
Tell me where they live and I'll take it to them.
Oh, my home's over at the crossroad.
But where can you go? That's the question.
I'll have to find the outlaws and spend the rest of my life in hiding.
The outlaws?
Somewhere in Sherwood. That's all anybody knows. Deep in the forest.
Englishmen forced to live in the forest like hunted animals. Find my lord the sheriff.
That way, my friend.
What's Sir Roger de Lisle sitting up there for?
A useful custom of the Norman lords. They sit in judgment on their own cases.
Who's the other one?
The Count of Severn, Sir Roger's cousin.
So you are the man who claims to be the son of the late Edward.
I am the son of the late Edward of Locksley, master of the King's Foresters in this shire.
That is a matter we are here to decide.
I hardly expected to find the man who stole my property sitting with you in judgment.
Watch your words, I warn you. We're here only for consultation.
Before we hear your claim, there is a question I should like to ask you. What were you doing at the hour of dawn this morning?
What's that got to do with my claim?
Answer the question, please. Is it not a fact that you were in Sherwood Forest and that you willfully obstructed the king's justice?
Hardly justice. I did prevent some foresters from committing an act of barbarous cruelty.
A full confession.
You've not only admitted your guilt, but you remain arrogant. In my judgment, you should be declared guilty and sentenced to imprisonment.
Plus the forfeiture of his estates.
The forfeiture of your estates. That is customary.
The title of Royal Forester passed to me from my father, and I was within my rights this morning, as you well know. This is a crude attempt to justify the theft of my property.
Forfeiture of your estate to the crown. Is there anything further?
You dare to speak in the name of the crown. I bear a letter from King Richard, who shall hear of this by the first courier to the Crusades.
May we see this letter?
You doubtless recognize the royal seal. The first part is some remarks His Majesty was good enough to make about my military service. The second asks all officers of the Crown to give special assistance to any cause of mine.
My lord, I protest. This is undoubtedly a forgery.
The seal is authentic. Why was I not shown this before?
This used to be a court of justice, whether one bore a king's letter or no.
It is clear that there has been a grave injustice, and that you are who you say you are. If there is anything we can do for you, as well as the full restitution of Locksley Hall, together with all its lands and people.
When may I expect this restitution?
Sir Roger will doubtless have made all the necessary arrangements by noon tomorrow. You will then meet at your estate, and he will hand over the documents.
My lords.
What in heaven's name are you thinking of?
A man who has the ear of the king can be a great danger. This cannot be handled in the ordinary way.
But my estates! Hold your tongue, Roger, and listen to what his lordship has to say.
If you want the estate, you will have to earn it.
Earn it? You mean work for it?
You can't hand an estate over to a man unless he's alive, can you? Nor can King Richard receive any messages from a man who has, unfortunately, met with a fatal accident.
Accident? May we take our leave while I explain to my cousin your brilliant solution to the unfortunate return of young Locksley? Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
The documents are completed and ready for signing. If you'll just come this way.
This was my father's when he first served with our King Richard.
My lady and I have a lot to do before we leave the house. If we may proceed to business.
I have no desire to cause you any inconvenient haste in your departure.
It is quite convenient to leave today.
And in that case, let us sign the papers.
This is the deed in which I renounce my claim to your estates. The notary has prepared this document for your signature.
What is this paper that you wish me to sign?
You may read it for yourself. It's merely a document releasing me from all claim.
Master Robin!
Now, will you?
Go quickly, Master Robin! They're going to kill you then!
Human! Chorus! The guard! You will hang for this!
Your purse tonight, and make it quick.
You're the man I've been looking for.
You're looking for us?
I thought the quickest way to find you would be to build a fire so that instead of going to the outlaws would come to me.
What do you want with us? You're not a poor man. Look at your clothes. You're a rich Norman.
Neither Norman nor rich.
Then what are you? A spy?
A spy? I'm wanted for the murder of Sir Roger de Lisle.
You killed de Lisle? I don't believe you.
I didn't. I said I was wanted for his murder, not that I was guilty.
He's making sport of us. Wait. Now listen, my friend. We're outlaws, because that's what Norman law has made us. They took our land for taxes, treated us like cattle. There's a price in our head, so the sheriff has sent out informers and spies. And we think that you're one of them.
I've told you the truth. If you try to rob or attack me, you're doing the same thing to a friend that you're accusing your enemies of doing to yourselves.
Oh, fine words won't save you. This glade is thick with arrows. They're all pointing at you. Wait, Will. I know him. He's the one that saved me from the foresters. The man with the hood. Are you certain? Look at him closely. Make no mistake. In truth, I know it. He saved my life. And made 3 foresters take to the hills. I swear he's the one. Why are you seeking us?
To join your band.
To join us? Give him a chance, Will. What's your name?
Robin of... Nothing. Robin.
Robin of the Hood.
Thus did Robin, a bold combatant of noble birth, find himself in the diverse company of the outlaws of Sherwood Forest. Plain men, but each and every one fiercely loyal to the king.
Hey, Robin, they say you're an archer.
I have pulled a bow.
Can you split the wand?
I can try. No, Edgar, no, your swing's too wide. You look as if you're mowing oats. Now, hold your staff at the quarter.
Black feathers.
All is well. Boy, we'll get off. Any luck, Will? What did you get, Will? What do you got in the purse? Gold?
The outlaws of Sherwood Forest are making quite a name for themselves.
King's ransom. Must be near 100 guineas. Thank you. What goose did you pluck today, Will?
Some kinsmen of Sir Philip's. They're on their way to the castle.
Any trouble?
No, the guards just ran like mice. Look at that.
Cheek, head, low.
We brought in some treasure.
So I see.
Aren't you too interested in gold?
What's your head, Edgar?
The lads say it's worth 80 guineas.
That's a good many guineas. The fair, Barry.
It's a good many more than you brought in since you joined us.
Our turn's coming, isn't it, Edgar?
Thanks to you, Robin. He's a good teacher, Will. Oh, perhaps I should take a lesson from the master.
I don't think you need any lessons in fighting, Will.
Then I can give you one.
Show him, Will. Give him one. Yes.
You were against us robbing Sir Philip's party, weren't you?
I said nothing.
But it was in your head.
True, I would have chosen someone else to rob.
When you need weapons and supplies, you rob. And the devil care who.
Sir Philip's a good man and a good friend of mine.
Oh, so that's it. He's one of the gentry. He's not really one of us.
Mr. Phillip treats his people well. But the country's full of those who don't. Why don't you rob them?
Keep your advice until you're asked, or I'll ram it down your throat. What? Do it again, Will.
Will, you're a better man than some of your deeds. And it's true that so far I haven't earned my keep. Come on, Edgar. Let's go and try our hands at our new craft.
Take cover. What? What the devil is... Outlaws. Are you sure? Probably a rabbit.
You can afford to be brave, since you probably carry no more than a few shillings.
Yeah.
Are you a merchant?
Well, no, not exactly. I'm a sort of a collection agent myself.
Ah, then we're colleagues. Aren't you afraid of losing your money?
Oh, no, not really. I fancy I could outwit a simple-minded outlaw.
To cover!
Yeah, hold on! Let's have no more of this hurtling into ditches.
I wish my mind was easy about my money.
Oh, put your money in your boot.
In my boot?
Yes, in your boot. And leave a few shillings in your purse for the outlaws if they should stop us.
What a splendid idea. My mind's at ease. But now my foot hurts.
Security must always be gained at some sacrifice.
Hand over your purse.
I'll do what he says.
Be quick about it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do anything you say. Only please don't look at our boots.
Boots? Oh, boots, eh? Crafty.
Come on, hand them over. Yes.
Acorns? You said you were a collection agent.
I am. I collect acorns.
And you? Come on.
And the other one.
Oh, look what your friend collects, Robin. Robin? Robin? You're one of them. You're one of the outlaws. The sheriff will hang you for this.
That's right. Now run along and give my compliments to the sheriff.
But what about me boots? Boots? Oh, yes. Very nice boots.
The treachery of Prince John and the Sheriff of Nottingham grew, forcing good men, honest and true, to take to their heels in the hopes of finding freedom. But even in Sherwood, the villainous hand of the Norman nobles could reach them, and sometimes turn them against each other.
They called him Robin?
Yes. I might have guessed it.
Howard.
Yes, sir.
You remember Robin of Locksley?
Yes, sir.
I have reason to believe that he's joined the outlaws in Sherwood Forest. And I think this arrow is his that my man brought in.
In that case, the outlaws will be even more dangerous, sir. He's a trained soldier, one of the finest archers in England.
Don't tell me what I already know. Find a way to capture him. Lay some sort of trap.
Have to be a clever one. He's nobody's fool.
we might offer some more of the same bride.
So you couldn't even catch that poor devil of a serf?
Mind your tongue, or maybe I'll have a notion to cut it out.
Brave talk you make. Aye, to old men and lasses. But I often wonder how you'd talk if you met with Robin Hood.
Someday we'll meet him, and then we'll do our talking with the rope.
Put the bucket down, will you? Go and sit down over there.
That's our man. There couldn't be anyone else that big.
Be still, I'll handle this.
Would you like a joint of pig?
But why don't we arrest him and claim the reward?
There are greater rewards to be had.
I only have 3 pennies.
That will buy you all you can eat.
Not him, it won't. By the look of him, he'll eat 3 men's dinners.
Joan, lass. Who is your friend, lass?
My cousin it is. From Nottingham. Just passing by on his way.
A cousin, eh?
Aye.
Oh, in that case, we'll invite him to have some ale. Over here, lad. Drink some ale with us while you're waiting for your food. I don't believe I've seen you in here. If I had, I'd remember. What's your trade, lad?
I work in a mill for a miller.
What mill? Where?
It's on the other side of Nottingham. You wouldn't know it.
I know every mill in the Shire and every man that works in one. And I know who you are. And you know who we are, don't you? We're sheriff's men. No, don't turn your back. Too broad a target. Besides, you and I may be of some service to each other.
What do you want of me?
A favor, but nothing like the favor that I could give you in return. How would you like to earn your own keep and 20 silver marks a year as a free yeoman?
How can any man grant me my freedom except the Earl?
You earn it by the law if you're away from your lord for a year and a day. By yourself, you wouldn't stand a chance. But if you serve with the king, why then your master's authority is against the crown.
If you could do that for me, if you could make me a free man with the right to go where I choose and live as I choose, there's nothing I wouldn't do in return.
All right then, go into the forest and fetch me an outlaw.
You send one man to do what a whole garrison has failed to do. You must be mad.
But this is not an ordinary man, my lord. He's a giant, as tall as an oak and as strong.
The taller he is, the better mark he'll be for Robin Hood's arrows.
My humble pardon, sir, but you misjudge Robin Hood. He is not one to shoot a stranger. He enjoys an encounter on equal terms.
It's you who misjudge Robin Hood. He's not one to fall into a trap so easily.
Unless I mistake my man, this oak will tempt him to a test of strength. And then the outlaw will meet his match.
If you have made a mistake, you'll lose both Robin Hood and the serf. And I may add your sergeant's warrant as well. Now be off with you. And report to me what happens. My apologies, Marion. When I finally persuade you to visit me, I'm interrupted by the pressure of affairs. This Robin Hood and his deviltry occupy full half of my time.
Yet what would you do without him? To prove his worth, the sheriff needs an outlaw.
Woman, they say, needs man. Yet you choose to live alone.
You promised not to propose again during Lent. Tell me more about this Robin.
You seem to have an uncommon interest in this outlaw.
So do you, my lord.
Mine is mercenary.
What is the latest bounty Prince John offers for his capture?
1,000 guineas. A king's ransom, 1,000 guineas, dead or alive.
Robin, there's a giant wandering around the forest.
He's been asking for the outlaw's hiding place.
A giant, eh? What manner of man is he?
Oh, great rough-looking fellow, nigh on 7 feet tall.
I'd like to see this giant myself. Excuse me, I started to cross first.
No, I did.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm telling you you're mistaken.
Stop your prattling, little man, and step aside.
I don't have to. I'm a free man.
Are you?
Yes, I have as much right here as you have. I was on this bridge first, and I intend to cross first.
What do you carry that staff for? Just to make yourself look like a bold fellow, or do you know how to use it?
If you had one of your own, I'd be very happy to show you what I know about it.
In that case, may I count on you to wait here while I find myself one?
You may.
I hope you don't mind if it's a bit rough. I don't want to keep you waiting.
I don't care if it's covered with spikes. It'll never touch me.
I've only seen one other man your size in my life. He almost broke my back.
That ought to have taught you a lesson.
It did. I should have been satisfied just to thrash him and leave him there on the tavern floor. Just throwing him out into the road that injured me. Now you help me out of here, you great hope. You're a stout fella. How'd you like to live here in the Greenwood and eat the best game?
What is an outlaw?
That's the name some people give us, but don't judge us by a name. Come and have supper with us instead and see what we're like.
Have supper where? Where do you live?
In the forest. But if I take you there as a visitor, I'll have to blindfold you.
Well, first I'd have to attend to the matter that brought me out today.
I was going to ask you where you were headed.
The Blue Boar Inn, do you know it?
I do, but apparently you don't. You're headed in the wrong direction.
You mean I didn't have to cross the bridge after all?
That's right.
I was always a fool about directions. I'll never find my way by myself.
I'll show you the way.
Oh, would you? It seems too much to ask. I'll buy you a tankard of ale when we get there.
Well, that sounds pleasant. And I can do with a brisk walk to dry my clothes off.
Robin's arrow. He's come across trouble of some kind. You go back for help while I follow Robin.
Right, you leave us a clear trail. I'll have the boys here in an hour.
Here's the giant coming back again. And he is bringing somebody with him.
Most of our lads are runaway serfs. You know, men with too much spirit to crawl for their Norman masters.
Yes, but people say you're all criminals.
True, we do have a few killers among us. Dear killers. Then there's Dick Tandy, who stole a sausage and a cheese from his little brothers and sisters during the famine. They were going to hang him for it, but he broke out of Nottingham jail. There's the Blue Boar ahead.
They say you're all robbers and traitors.
True, we collect a toll, but only from those who can pay it easily. As for being traitors, our loyalty's with the king, whatever he is, and not for those who rule for him and dishonor his name.
Look, perhaps you'd better not come in. There's danger in it for you.
Why do you say that?
Well, you being an outlaw and all, I wonder if it's safe.
You're wondering if you can find a way not to buy me that ale you promised.
Oh, no, I wasn't thinking of that.
Perhaps you sense that there's danger there for yourself.
How could there be?
Well, life's full of surprises. Sometimes it's hard to know who your friends really are. So we go ahead.
They're marching straight up to the door, like sheep for the slaughter.
They're coming. Take the outlaw first. When you've got him safe, then we can go after the big fellow.
You pledged your word to him. Why can't you keep it?
We were pledged long before that to send all runaways back to their masters.
Come on. It's Robin Hood. He's brought us Robin Hood himself. £10 reward, as much as the rest of them put together. He'll hang in Nottingham Square tomorrow. Put your hands behind you.
He thought he was going to be free.
I fetched you an outlaw, didn't I? Why are you treating me the same as him?
We aren't. He goes to Nottingham to hang. You go back to your master, whatever he may decide to do with you. We have to uphold law and order, you know. Tie them together. Prisoners in front, march.
Now! You come over here.
Drop all your weapons on the ground.
We decided the arrows meant that you wanted us to wait until we were really needed.
As it happened, this tiny lad didn't need us at all.
You mean you knew all the time you were walking into a trap?
It seemed likely. Besides, I also thought it was important for you to see what they might have in store for you. Take their weapons, their clothes, and their money and send them back to the sheriff with our regards. Now I'll have that ale you promised me.
Robin's sense of justice differed markedly from Will's, for he believed in helping the proud Saxon serfs, whom the sheriff so ruthlessly exploited, and by so doing, turned them into allies.
Mother! Strangers.
Trouble.
Hawkins?
Aye. Isn't that the moneylender's list?
Yes. We ran into Herbert of Doncaster on the road and arranged to do some of his business for him. In November, you borrowed 2 silver marks,
True, and I took my pig to Nottingham last week and sold it to pay the debt.
There must be some mistake.
I tell you I paid, and there's no use trying to collect more because we haven't a farthing left.
I'm not trying to collect more. It's written here that you paid back 4 silver marks.
Aye, and we shall go hungry because of it.
I'm not surprised when you pay back double what you borrow. Give him back 2 silver marks.
Bless you, gentlemen.
I'm grateful for this friend. It can make a lot of difference.
Are you on the moneylenders list?
Yes.
What's your name?
Hugh of the Wood. I borrowed 3 marks last winter.
What did you pay back?
6.
Give him back 3 marks.
If we should ever want to borrow money again, can we find you in Nottingham?
No. Our headquarters are in Sherwood Forest.
The men of Sherwood? I've heard about you.
You've probably heard that we're thieves and outlaws.
No. Well, I mean, one of the sheriff's men did say...
These are strange times, Hawkins. When the sheriff protects those who steal and brands as thieves those who return the stolen goods. Now,
Whose arrow is that? I know nothing. I just found it in my door.
Wouldn't have come from Sherwood Forest by any chance.
The outlaws? Why should they leave money?
That's what I intend to find out. I'll take this arrow to my lord, the sheriff.
There we are, Robin. On its way to the tax coffers of Prince John. But this treasure wasn't Prince John's until the courier handed it over in London. It belongs to the family of Sir William Fitzwalter.
Fitzwalter? Why, he's at the Crusades with King Richard, isn't he?
He is indeed, and as good a man as lives, and one of King Richard's most loyal soldiers.
Well, how do you know all this is his?
Because here on this ring is his crest.
Are you certain that is his crest, Robin?
I know it as well as my own. Our families were friends. They used to go hunting with his daughter when we were children. She was as good with a longbow as I was. It's hard to imagine her, a young lady, wearing these jewels.
If she has this much treasure, she can spare some of it for those in more need.
If she were not in need herself, she wouldn't be sending her jewels to pay the tax collector. I say this goes back. If anyone want to take issue?
It may well be our friend Robin still has a soft spot for this young huntress.
And I had to have my own jewels to pay the high taxes that your Prince John has burdened us with, or forfeit my lands. Now the outlaws have taken them in the main highway and in broad daylight, where we are soldiers, my Lord Sheriff, at the time.
If I had 10 times as many men, I couldn't patrol all the highways against these bandits. They never strike twice in the same place.
Why wait for them to strike? Why not strike first? You have superior numbers.
As if numbers counted in that forest of theirs. But they've turned every tree into a bowman and every hedge into an ambush.
What's the matter, my Lord Sheriff? Are you afraid of these outlaws?
We're biding our time until Robin Hood makes a mistake. Once we can lay our hands on him, dealing with the others will be easy.
I used to know Robin when we were children. I could shoot as straight an arrow as he could. Would it help if you knew where his camp is? Then you could capture him?
If we knew that, we could bring a large force down on him at night and clean out the whole nest.
You shall have this information, my lord.
Marion, what's going on in that pretty head of yours?
You'll hear soon enough.
If you have any foolhardy notion of venturing into that forest, I want you to know that I forbid it.
By your own admission, Sherwood Forest is outside your control.
haven't changed, Marion.
I can hardly say the same for you. When did you first find out who I was?
I guessed almost at once. But I had to find out what you were up to, though I almost left it too late.
Now what is the gallant Robin Hood going to do? Rob me again? I'll save you the trouble.
I returned your money to your home yesterday morning when you were still in the forest. I was on my way back to camp when we met. Now, stand up and see how the ankle is. It is the same girl. The way I remember you all these years. Even the boys' clothes you like to wear.
I've thought of you often, Robin, but they say such things about you. What am I to believe?
What your heart tells you.
Around him!
In the name of the sheriff.
Prince John has declared a public holiday for the hanging. He has dispatched 100 men-at-arms to escort the prisoner to London.
A feather in your cap, if I may say so, my lord.
You may indeed. But we must not forget the Lady Marion's part in his capture.
I still marvel that he walked into your trap. You must have planned it very carefully.
Yes. Yes, we worked it all out thoroughly before she went into the forest.
Lady Marion Fitzwalter, my lord.
Ah, show her in. Marion, my dear, we were just singing your praises.
My compliments, Lady Marion. Delivering Robin Hood into our hands was no small feat.
Thank you.
Be seated. I'm writing to the prince to ask him that you should have the seat of honor at the hanging and 1/2 of the reward. Does that meet with your approval?
One thing more I crave, my lord.
You shall have whatever you name.
The return of my jewels. I beg permission to visit the prisoner in his cell and find out where he's hidden them. Before the hanging.
Your request is granted. But supposing, as is most likely, he refuses to tell you, what then?
I thought perhaps you might have means of persuading him.
That would be a pleasure.
Grant me one favor before you die.
A favor for you? I'm hardly in a position to grant anyone a favor.
Where are my jewels that you've stolen from me?
I already told you. I took them back to your home. Go there and see for yourself.
I've just come from my home, and no one's seen either you or the jewels.
Have it your own way. But go and leave me alone.
Sergeant, bring me 2 of your strongest men, and the instruments to make him talk.
Yes, my lady.
The years have given you a taste for strange pleasures.
Marion.
Quickly, Robin, tie me up and bind me.
But what about you? I can't
All
hear.
right, they'll never suspect me.
Lady Marion! Good heavens, where is he?
He broke free and escaped.
Don't stand there, hold him off!
Draw close and hear my song unfold, good outlaws of this merry band. I sing about an Archibald, the greatest bowman in the land. His fame hath spread through every shire, no other hath against him stood. His name, did someone here inquire it?
Robin Hood!
It's Giles Black of Collingswood.
Giles Black? Who the blazes is he? Any of you ever heard of Giles Black?
They say he can pull 150 pounds with the ease that I pluck the Catern, and that he can shoot the cork off a bottle of wine at 100 ells.
Obviously somebody had uncorked a bottle when these boasts were made.
Oh, you can see for yourself next Saturday. There's to be an archery contest at Sir Richard's Castle. He asked me to invite you.
I'm not sure it's advisable.
There'll be a purse for the winner and a feast after the contest is over.
Thanks, Sir Richard, for his kind invitation, and tell him I'll be there to bless the groaning board.
And you, Master Robin?
The contest would be fine sport, no doubt, but being an outlaw is a serious business.
Go ahead, Robin.
No challenger contests his might. On target range he stands alone.
However, when our skill with the longbow is challenged, I see no other course but to defend our reputation. You'll come with...
Are you the fellows we shoot against today?
We're here for the archery contest.
So, you're the country bumpkins Sir Richard's so proud of.
That's right. Crude fellows who wouldn't dream of testing the range before the contest.
We weren't doing anything of the kind. And what's the matter with that, I'd like to know. Let them practice all they like. They'll need it.
The first bowman will represent his lordship, the High Sheriff of Nottingham. The next bowman will shoot for his lordship, Sir Richard of the Lee.
Good work, Little John.
No, my shafts are grouped off center. Only to allow more windage than we thought.
The next champion shoots for his lordship, the High Sheriff of Nottingham.
There you are, Sir Richard. That's what I meant when I said he was the greatest archer in England. Nobody can beat shooting like that.
Robin needs 3 perfect shots to tire Giles Black.
Don't worry about it, Sir Richard. You show a certain amount of promise, Giles Black. But you take too long of your aim. Now, if that target down there were a deer, and I spent 20 seconds aiming the way you do, my quarry might move to cover and I'd lose the shot.
He's afraid to loose his shaft. He knows he's beaten.
You have to learn to launch your arrows swiftly, all in one motion, like this.
That's a signal for a tie.
Howard! Tell them to bring out the small target. Single arrows.
I've never seen shooting like that.
Just a minute. Both arrows were dead center. I demand that they shoot again.
Get somebody else to do your shooting. I can't match a shot like that.
To the most skillful archer in the contest today, and I suspect the most skillful in England, I award this token of my favor.
To the tables, everyone! The victory feast is served!
I think it's time for you to leave.
How dare you tell my guests to leave?
Surely you don't propose to share your table with outlaws?
Do you realize that these men have your pledge of immunity?
Only for the archery contest. I didn't promise them 1 minute after it was over.
As winners of the match, they have more right than any of us to enjoy the feast.
I warn you, Sir Richard. I did make a promise, but I'm finding it increasingly difficult to keep it.
That's understandable. The process must be so unfamiliar to you. Thank you for your hospitality, Sir Richard, but we'll go now. Obviously, the only way the sheriff can keep his promise is if we remove the temptation for him to break it.
Oh, Robin. And I was looking forward to having such a wonderful evening.
The sheriff seemed uncommonly anxious to get you two outside the castle wall.
As you know, I thought the same thing.
Before you go, shouldn't we test the windage? Huh? Aren't you two the men who lost the archery contest this afternoon? That's just what we're trying to forget. Allow me to offer you some words of consolation. The ability to accept defeat gracefully is one of the great tests of a man's character. The perseverance in the face of a setback.
What are you doing here, my lord?
Looking after your interests, Sir Richard. I want to make sure those outlaws leave your property without stealing the silver.
Now, just walk straight out through the main gate. Keep going and no tricks.
we do?
We'll do what they say. I'm not playing target to a bowman like that.
There go Robin Hood and Little John. Are you satisfied?
Yes, Sir Richard. Most satisfied.
You've broken your pledge.
Not at all. I said they might leave the castle in peace. I said nothing about what would happen afterwards.
Hey, why are they cudgeling those poor fellows out there?
Stop! Stop, you fools!
While secretly visiting Robin in Sherwood, Maid Marian witnessed a sinister plot unleashed by the Sheriff of Nottingham. A deadly scheme designed to forever tarnish the reputations of Robin and the brave men of the forest.
This is no honest robbery. This is murder they're laying on our heads. So, the redoubtable Sir Giles of Wren has turned outlaw.
Since you've recognized me, Robin of Locksley, I'll rid the world of an outlaw.
Badly hurt.
Am I right in assuming that it is Robin Hood the outlaw to whom I am indebted for my life?
Right on both counts, my lord. I'm Robin Hood, and you are indebted to the tune of half your purse, the fixed price for a hearty meal in Sherwood Forest. Well, now that we've feasted ourselves, let's turn to business. Commissioner, the time of reckoning has come.
Since I have not eaten your food, I see no reason to discuss a reckoning.
Many a man pays head tax who doesn't use his head.
Nonetheless, I shall not give up one jot or farthing of the king's property. Certainly not to outlaws.
You said the king's property. Surely you mean Prince John's.
I seldom say what I do not mean. The exchequer remains the property of King Richard, in spite of temporary mismanagement by Prince John.
You are loyal to Richard, my lord?
I am sworn to defend his interests with my life.
What do you say, lads?
Let him go. Yeah. Turn him free. He's got us fair.
Long live King Richard!
Long live King Richard!
Never let it be said that the men of Sherwood harmed a friend of Richard or stole from their king. Escort our guest to his mount.
Now I begin to see why Sir Giles could contemplate murder.
You probably shared a meal with him.
Little John, have two of the men stay on his trail discreetly until he's safely at the castle.
I'll have him.
Marion, you're going to the accounting tonight?
I only hope my account rolls are in order. Rob.
Stay with the commissioner tonight. They won't give up because they failed once. They'll try again.
You are hurt, aren't you?
I'll be all right now. There's not a moment to lose. He's too honest to live long in Nottingham Castle. Don't let him out of your sight.
All right, Robin, but take care of yourself.
Yes, yes. And you. You'd better carry a dagger.
I can't afford the shadow of suspicion. None of us can.
You're possessed with suspicion. You'd be dead now, but you had to divert suspicion. I'll handle it my own way this time.
But wait.
Wait! Wait till he goes up and examines the account rolls. One glance and he'll hand you to your own executioner for a common thief.
And half the Shire with me.
My point.
I am quite capable of filling it for myself, thank you. I prefer it.
Commissioners of the Exchequer get oversensitive about poison, you baggage.
Sir Giles, your language is an insult to womanhood and a disgrace to knighthood.
Any knighthood or womanhood that can't stomach my language, I'd have me doubts about. Particularly a minx who wears a dagger at her girdle. Afraid of the sheriff girl?
Might not be the sheriff, but his guest, Sir Giles.
Maybe you're planning to do the commissioner in at that, eh?
Take your hands off her or you'll answer to my blade.
Draw, Sir Walter. My lord.
In deference to our esteemed guest, Our apologies, my lord. In your delicate state, may I suggest that you retire for a night of repose and that we postpone our business until tomorrow? The account rolls will wait.
Procrastination keeps poor accounts. My medication is completed, so if you would conduct me to the Shire account rolls...
Lady Marion Fitzwalter, on the appeal of Sir Giles of the Wren, I command you to stand trial before your peers for the murder of the Commissioner of the King's Exchequer. Then you solemnly swear, my lord, that Marion Fitzwalter did by her own hand draw the life's blood of the deceased.
I saw her draw the dagger out of his back.
It's a lie. He stole my dagger.
Lady Marion, there is no evidence.
You were there, you saw him, making sure everyone knew I had a dagger. That's why he put his arm round me.
You're too modest, my dear. Now, can you explain why you chose to wear a weapon that evening? Wasn't it rather unusual?
Because I knew Sir Giles would be there. And he's already tried to murder the Commissioner.
Oh, sweet. And where did you discover this information?
Everyone knows that someone tried. Well, it must have been Sir Giles because he finally succeeded in the castle.
You know I killed him because I tried before. You know I tried before because I killed him. Is that your evidence?
But my dagger was stolen.
When did you notice its loss?
When I drew it out, I realized.
Ah. So you admit that you drew out the dagger. You have no further witness to your innocence, Marion Fitzwalter. It is the solemn duty of the court...
My lord, I can read my judgment and doom on your faces. But I will not be hanged on the word of a murderer. I challenge Sir Giles to defend the truth of his cause in trial by battle.
That is your right, of course. Though naturally you will have to be represented by a champion.
If you can find one, my girl.
So be it ordered by the moot court of the county of Nottinghamshire that Sir Giles of Wren will meet the champion of Marion Fitzwalter in trial by battle 1 week hence from this day.
Frightened girl? No champion? I hear there's a plague of palsy in the knee among the flower of knighthood.
Pax vobiscum, my daughter.
Quickly, Father, tell me about Robin.
He's disappeared, out of his mind with a fever. Run away, probably to come here.
Find him, Father. Tell him there's no need for both of us to die.
I'll do my best. You have naught to fear, my daughter, if your mind is innocent.
Marion, I can't tell you how this distresses me. I've had no sleep for a week past.
I sleep very well.
It is my duty to inform you that no champion will appear.
Has that been arranged too?
You have made powerful enemies.
I have powerful friends, my lord. Truth and innocence.
Marion, I want to help you. Confess to this felony and throw yourself upon the mercy of the court.
So you would forgive the guilty and punish the innocent. And the terms, my lord?
Confiscation of your lands to the crown. The death sentence I could commute to castle arrest. Under my jurisdiction.
So, you'd have my land, and me as your personal prisoner.
Marion, I claim to be no better than the evil times we live in. But I'm no worse. Would marriage to me be so harsh a sentence?
When I marry, my lord, I shall be bound to my husband by something stronger than chains.
Oh, yeas, oh, yeas, oh, yea. Let the knight Sir Giles of Wren stand forth before divine providence to try his appeal of murder against the Lady Marion Fitzwalter. Let the champion of the Lady Marion Fitzwalter stand forth before divine providence to defend her innocence of this appeal.
In accordance with known custom of the Shire, this proclamation will be repeated 3 times before it is adjudged unanswered.
Does a champion stand forth before divine providence to defend the innocence of the Lady Marion Fitzwalter? For the 3rd and last time, does a champion stand forth?
Wait! Hold! I go by the name of Hugh, son of Tom, freeman and freeholder on the land of Fitzwalter. By giving me freedom, your family gave me my life. I offer it freely, if you'll have a humble yeoman for your champion.
Hugh, dear Hugh, I can't allow you. They tell me you've been ill.
Sickness of the body can be cured, my lady. The sickness of the heart, to let you die without raising my hand, that I could never endure.
My lord, with full heart, I take Hugh, son of Tom, as my own true champion.
Poor old man, he'll be stretched with the first blow. I wouldn't be too sure of that.
Do you, Sir Giles, and you, Hugh, son of Tom, take oath that you shun all trust in witchcraft and solemnly swear to the truth of your cause?
I do. I do.
Then you shall now do battle unto death, or until the guilty cries craven. Your weapons shall at all times be equal, and your strength your own. May Providence defend the right. Lay to! At all times your weapon shall be equal. You, son of Tom, the choice is yours.
Can you handle a sword, Cheryl?
I have handled one in my time.
Lady Marion, you are now free and innocent. before heaven and man.
You said that there were 15 guineas. Well?
That was before we gave half of them back.
Before you... What sort of outlaws are you, robbing and giving back?
To the people it belonged to, not the moneylender.
Robin, this is your doing. And I give you fair warning. If you're staying with us, you'll follow our rules. We're here to stay alive. Keep out of the sheriff's reach, not to right wrongs done to others.
If we throw in our lot with people who are wronged, we stand a better chance of staying alive and out of the sheriff's reach.
Right, lad. On the Watling Road, old John of Lincoln and his wagon full of wine.
How much for guard?
Oh, just old John and his two boys. We can catch them before they get to the village, while they're still in the forest.
I wonder if it's worth it.
Why, it's worth it, all right. John of Lincoln has the best wine in Nottinghamshire.
I meant worth the risk.
Now what's sticking in your gullet? Old John's a swine and a rich one at that.
I wasn't thinking of that. Their shipment of wine just went through last week. Does it strike you as odd that another one's going through so soon?
Oh, odd or not, we're thirsty. What do you say, lads? We rob the wagon?
Yeah.
You can stay behind if you're afraid.
And miss all the fun. I'm coming along.
Tell your boys to drop their bows, John of Lincoln, or their mother will be a sorry woman tonight. Do that again and the next horn you hear will be Gabriel's. Get him in. Whoa. It's a trap! Take cover!
We can't hold on here. They'll bear us from both sides.
We'll have to run for it. Out into the woods!
Gently with him, lads. I'll cover your retreat.
Run for it!
How many arrows have you left? 5. You and Naylor take Will by the edge of the forest till you're clear of the trap. Then cut down through Badger's Hollow. What about the sheriff's men? You and I'll hold them off, then hide in Hawkins' hut.
How many are there?
2 for sure. There they are.
They won't get away. Close in!
Take your hands off me. I've done nothing.
Your lordship. Finish him off. I'm no outlaw. This is my own.
He's right. He belongs to Lord Severn. I know him.
Why did you let them get into your house?
Let them? They said they'd kill me.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. I hate outlaws. I can prove it to you. You can burn me house down so long as you wipe them out.
Not a bad idea. Get a torch.
Someone will have to run in with it. No telling how many arrows they've got left.
You. That's how you can prove your loyalty.
I don't mind burning me house down. My wife and child are in the field.
If he hesitates, run him through.
They're not coming out. They'll be roasted to death.
Roasting or hanging? What's the difference?
You all right? You were right, Robin. The wine was too costly. Too much blood in it.
What can I do for you, Will?
Take my place. You're an odd sort, Robin. But I think you're the man they'll remember.
We'll remember you.
Follow. Follow. Robin. Robin. Hood.
A brave man's sword should not outlive him.
Homes are gone, the money's out, there's no place left to be. They're fighting hard, they're fighting fast, they're fighting to be free. From the hideout in the forest, the battle for the land, with a man they call the sheriff, stealing everything he can. Everything's gonna be alright.
the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good.